Doormats podcast. We are back.
That's crazy.
After I know it's been a break from people actually watching these, but
for us it's
been like 3 months.
I know. I'm like the difference between what we looked like 3 months ago. Like I know my complexion is very.
You
different.
definitely got tan.
Yeah.
I didn't, but
so it's gonna look like
my bangs are longer. I have that going
That's
for
true.
me.
My hair also. I didn't get a haircut this summer, so it grew
super long.
Yeah, it grew really long. But yeah, I'm excited. This is fun. I miss it. Sure.
Some of our loyal listeners were missing it.
I know. Crazy.
Thank you to those of you who sent out wonderful, kind texts that have been listening to the podcast or sweet messages. And also thank you to those who harassed us and said, get back to it, because we kind of dropped the ball on posting a little bit. But
okay, so what had happened is I worked in Pennsylvania at a summer camp this summer. So we had pre-filmed all our episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really tell the audience.
I feel like they need to know.
Yeah, so we had started to run out of episodes towards the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm glad we still put it out there, but yeah.
Well, and then the other part of that is again, we are not content creators, video editors.
No.
We are just two people that wanted to have a conversation weekly and share it. So the editing kind of got on top of me. And just things were looking bad. We had audio issues, all the things that could have gone wrong. We're just not. So again, if you know what you're doing and you want to help us,
we're looking to hire some interns.
Yes,
so.
unpaid interns, unpaid.
Experience only.
Yeah, experience only.
You will not be learning anything from us. We need your experience.
The only thing you can have, only perk I would say, is that we'll give you the real names of people in the stories outside of recording. But yeah, so we're back at it though. We're happy to be back. Also, just summer's crazy, both working a lot, moving and all kinds of different things that happen over the summer. So it's been a minute, but we're back.
Yep.
And we're ready to recap our summer.
So, every Tuesday now.
Every Tuesday you got us.
And hopefully the quality will slowly improve. We'll see.
Depending if we get interns. Yeah. So that ball's in your court, listeners. But yeah, so I know we want to kind of catch up because we also have seen each other a little bit, but you've literally been home for a week, maybe?
Of just about a week,
So we still have a lot to catch up on, too.
I know. Yeah, I feel like summer was, for me, it was it feels like a distant fever dream now. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it went by so fast and slow at the same time. The days were long. I think that's also the thing of summer used to be so fun and pool parties and ice cream with friends and bike rides, but now it's I just have to work when it's really nice out. That sucks.
See, I had the opposite experience because for context, I worked at a summer camp in Pennsylvania, and it's something I had never heard of before I applied there, but it's sleepaway camp. So these kids will come for basically 2 months and spend the summer at this giant summer camp, and they have everything under the sun, circus.
It's wild.
Every sport, So I was the soccer director of the soccer program. Yeah.
Jenny's the boss. Yeah, you're dog. Oh, sorry, no free hands.
No, it was really cool, and I really enjoyed the position. And obviously, I love soccer, so it was super fun coaching and everything. But it's so hard to put into words what that environment is like because it's its own it's its own society in the middle of Pennsylvania, and movie. It feels like a movie half the time because you're just how is something like this real? Yeah, but it is. And so I have some funny stories from the summer to tell you about. I can't get too into detail because there's some things I just can't share.
We just talked and we were what can we share from our summer?
I know. I have some. So this episode we're gonna recap did we improve in any way? Did our doormat behaviors follow us? Did my doormat behaviors follow us to Pennsylvania?
Not a lot.
Yeah, I would say I did. There was a few that I stood up for myself, and I contemplated calling you and being
hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, but I was I'll catch her up when we get back.
I'm excited. Do you want to just dive right in then?
Sure. Well, you didn't answer the question. Were you had any improvement this summer, or
I said spoiler alert, not really.
Oh, okay.
I think I definitely was put in a lot. Okay, I will say you know how they say that the Lord gives to the toughest wait, what is it saying? God gives his strongest soldiers the toughest battles.
Something like that, yeah.
I feel like I just must be one hell of a soldier because left and right, I just be getting grenades and stuff thrown at me. But I think there was a lot of opportunities for me to try and break the doormat cycle this summer. Mm-hmm. And I would say 80% of the time I diverted back to my old ways. But I will say I think I'm getting better at setting boundaries beforehand. I think in the midst of the thing, I tend to revert back. But I'm trying to like foresee beforehand and just like say,
yeah, that's fair.
Say no to things. So there's a couple times I felt like, yeah, I did a good job of breaking out of that.
Okay.
I don't have any of those to share today, but
yeah, I don't have the ones that I like have, I can't really share. So the ones I can share are the ones that I was a complete doormat for. So I feel like people like to hear about that too. You know, we are relatable.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I have just like a lame one.
Okay, go.
Okay, yeah, we'll start small. This is just like, I feel like this just describes what my daily life is like. Okay. And I went to, because I work remote, so I can kind of do what I want on my lunch break. And sometimes I just need to get out of the house. Like, I just need to go for a drive. And it is really nice to be able to like, oh, I can go pick up lunch or go for a little drive during my break and not have to be in the house. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get a car wash. Oh, I bought a car. So that's exciting.
Yeah,
and I wanted
did.
to, yeah, brother. I'm going to be in debt for 30 years. Yeah, because the brakes in my old car didn't work. And at that point, it's like, I can't just keep driving that. So I got a new car, and I just wanted to, like, go get it washed. So I was like, oh, I'll go get a car wash on my lunch break. And so then I went to the car wash, and after I was already, you know, you get in there, and they kind of, like, wipe your thing, and then they ask you, like, oh, what kind of wash do you want? Do you want an air freshener? And so I did all that, and I paid and everything. And I was already in the car wash, and the guy goes, yeah, just make sure. And there's no one else. There's literally no one else for miles. No one's in the car wash. No one's behind me. It's just me and this dude. And he's like, yeah, make sure your car is in neutral and you don't put your foot on the brake while you're in there. And I just was like, in my mind, like, do I just look like the stupidest person that ever walked the earth? Like, I was already on the track, too. Like, I was already going in the car wash. And I just was like, oh, yeah, thanks. Like, good no. And I was like, why didn't you not just say, like, yeah, duh? Like, I feel like a more, like, confrontational, strong woman could have just been like,
yeah, I know.
Like, yeah, I'm literally already in the car wash. Thank you. But I just acted like it was such a great piece of wisdom.
See, I would have done this exact. In those scenarios, I'm like, I'd rather just get through the interaction than have it escalate if it were to.
And that's the thing. That was supposed to be my little, like, oh, look at the pretty colors and, like, sit through the waterfall. And then I just had to think about that. And I was just like, what is it about? Because we had, maybe a 30-second interaction. What is it about my physical appearance and aura that he felt the need to tell me that? Yeah. That's also part 2 of that. It's like, do I just, like, scream stupid when you see me?
It's probably just, he just assumed you're a woman at a car wash. You don't.
I don't know. I mean, I think I have a little bit of a baby face sometimes, too. And I was not dressed like a working corporate professional. But I was just like, man, now I got to sit with that for the rest of the car ride. So that's a little bit of a doormat. Like, what would I have done? I don't know. But I think other people would have just been like, duh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not too bad.
No, baby doormat.
Not too bad. But I get it. Okay, well, I'll start mine off. I don't know where to rank this on the scale, but it needs some context, so which is going to be hard to explain. But basically, for the camp that I worked at, they do an evening activity for like every day. It's like something for the kids. Yeah, and it's always like it gets pretty like extravagant depending on the day. But they did this one evening activity, and then like the way that it works is directors. I was like the soccer director, so directors sometimes have to work the evening activities, like it's a rotation kind of thing. So it was called Gold Rush, which is essentially this like camp wide kind of scavenger hunt. Like each age group has to like search for these like gold rocks throughout the camp.
Okay, that's fun.
And then they like find a certain amount, and then there's people like in it's called the canteen, but it's just this like little area, and they like cash in the gold, and then they like auction. So it's like pretty extravagant. A lot of planning goes into it, and
I'd be into that as a kid.
Yeah, the kids really like get into it. They like try and find the gold, and then they like win certain prizes if they like win the auction, whatever. And then the older kids do like casino thing, but the little younger kids do this Gold Rush. So I was put on Gold Rush.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just a track record. I don't know if it's just my face or just me as a person, but I always got just the worst activities. Like, not the worst. I wouldn't say the worst, but like.
Okay, wait. Worse how like the kids don't like it, or it's really not fun for you to run?
No, not fun to run. Like some people get like, so. Just for example, like some people get like bake off in the cookhouse where they like get a division and they bake a cake and like decorate it, like fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
And then because I was soccer, like it makes sense, but like a lot of times I would be put on bubble soccer, which is like blowing up those giant like bubble padded like soccer balls that you get into and like run. And then
I mean, that'd be so fun.
It is like so fun, but I got like the rowdy like teenage boys who like just don't let, they're like hitting each other, like it's just like a lot, so very chaotic. So of course when I got my assignment, I like looked at it and I was like, yep, that makes sense. I was assigned to basically the robbers, so I had to dress up.
No way.
Yes, in a black beanie, this black like raccoon looking mask, like literally think like a storybook like robber, and that was me in like a black, I had to wear all black, and I just like I looked at the costume and I was like, I gotta buy in. So I put it on. God. And if we can, we'll insert a picture. I looked ridiculous. I looked like a little boy. Like literally think so like a little boy, and that's what I looked like. Because I just had this like black beanie, and I also had like my hair in a ponytail, so it just looked like I had no hair.
I just love that you had to have a costume for it.
So then I also get this like basically potato sack, and I'm like, my job is with a squirt gun to go like squirt on the kids, and then if they have rocks and I like hit them with the water, then they have to give me the rock. You know, it's like it's a lot of contact.
I want to play this with the new interns we hire.
So I'm just like, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I was like, okay, you tell me to go run and like squirt kids with water guns, like okay. So I did not realize like what this was actually gonna entail. So we're going, and the kids like they get rowdy. It's summer camp, there's not that many rules, like it's just that kind of environment. So the kids started, because I think I'm just like not an intimidating person at all, they started like trying to grab my potato sack and rob me. That's awesome.
They tried to do a coup.
But when I tell you, Amelia, it was the longest day ever. I was so angry because when they're trying to grab it, I'm still holding onto it. It's just repeatedly hitting me. Like bags of rocks is just
oh my god.
Like it was just a really long day. And the thing was, like, when they were like trying to grab the rocks, I was still like holding onto the bag, so the bag of rocks just kept hitting me. It just came back and it kept hitting me, and it hurt. Like it's bags of rocks. And then they also didn't tell me like where are you supposed to put the rocks. Well, like, at one point, like the bag was pretty heavy, and I'm having to run around with this bag of rocks with a squirt gun, and I'm just like, it's a fun thing for the kids.
Yeah,
I totally acknowledge that. It was a long day. I was just exhausted.
Crap. That is intense.
I was so angry, and the kids like, because you like form a relationship with them, like that you're their soccer coach and whatever, they like just want to mess around, but I was just not in the mood.
Oh my god.
So I had to like break out of character and be like, hey, cut it out. Like, and like just imagine me dress up in this like robber outfit, and I had to like literally like one-on-one with this kid be like, listen, like you gotta cut it out. Like,
dude, that's so funny.
I did stand up for myself, but like probably not soon enough. Like it was definitely like, why would they put me of all people? Funny. Like we have a over 6 foot tall like basketball director. I'm like, you could have put him on this job, and like he could have like told these kids like, don't rob me.
That's so funny. And is it like, just you supervising the whole thing?
No, so like the way it is like we
they saw these kids trying to beat you up.
No. There was people like on golf carts. That was the other thing. Another job was just to like monitor the thing on golf cart, and I was like, that would have been nice. Like I was running around with bags of rocks, and I was like, I think they put me on a lot of like the athletic stuff because obviously I was like in athletics, so it makes sense. But like I did envy the people that like could just like.
That is so funny.
A lot of the jobs were like monitoring on golf carts. I never got that job once.
That's so funny. That reminds me. I think I told you. Remember the story about my friend who used to work at Chuck E. Cheese and had to break character. Should I tell that story?
Yeah, I felt that was really
just
funny.
Like so of like having to dress up and break character. I have this friend that I met a while ago, and she is just like the sweetest, meekest, calmest person I've ever met. Like, I just cannot imagine her working with a bunch of rowdy kids. And I guess she had a job, and then she had another job, like, in her, like, mid-late 20s or something like that, at Chuck E. Cheese. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna, like, make extra money. And then they needed her to be Chucky, so she was in the costume. But, like,
that would be hard.
She said, like, I ask her all the time, like, how was it? She was like, it is, like, a madhouse. It's chaotic. Like, I need to, like, okay, wait, actually, can we pause so I can read her DM to me that she said?
Sure.
Okay, one second. Okay, I found it. Okay. So, she has an insight to Chuck E. Cheese, and I found, like, this old Chuck E. Every time I see, like, a post about Chuck E. Cheese, I just send it to her, and I'll say, like...
Okay, pause. Did you ever ask her about, like, conspiracy theory? Did you ever see that?
Yes.
Did you ask her?
I should. I don't know if I did.
You should.
I should ask her about that.
Interesting.
But I saw a commercial of, like, oh, like, a big, happy, fun time Chuck E. Cheese, and so I'll send her, like, is this accurate? Is this accurate? And she said... And it was one that was, like, making it seem really nice. And she said, fake news. Costumes were never washed or changed out. It smelled like BO at all times. The children never smiled. They threatened to beat you up behind the ski roll. At birthday parties when you danced, no one even pays attention.
Oh,
and I'm, like, imagining again. I don't even know how to describe her, like, to you, but just someone so meek and sweet having to dance in the Chucky outfit for kids that literally beat you up. And she said, like, they do, like, they rag on you, like, if the parents aren't watching, the kids literally beat you up. But part of the illusion of Chucky is you can't obviously hear, like, oh no, not this again. Why is it only happening?
I don't know. I think it's because I'm, like,
your
turned at a
different,
different,
but imagine, this really sweet meek girl, but part of the magic of Chuck E. Cheese is that you can't hear, like, a 27-year-old woman saying, like, hi, I'm Chucky or whatever. So you're not allowed to talk, whoever's in the costume. So while they're beating you up, you just have to be like, and, like, wave your finger. And she said one time she just had enough and they just kept hitting her and she just goes, stop it. And the kids, like, freaked out because Chucky never talks.
That's
and I was just like, everyone reaches a breaking point.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
So you could probably bond with her over that.
Yeah, I would love to hear.
I'm proud of you though, and I would love for you to wear that outfit on the podcast.
Absolutely not.
All right, fine.
Yeah, maybe I'll put a picture though.
Yeah, fine. It's fine.
Okay.
That was a strong doormat story.
It was. You know, I did feel in that moment of, like, what is my life? Like, what decisions got me to this moment? Because I felt pretty defeated getting robbed by, like, 8-year-olds.
They probably felt really good about themselves,
genuinely. I was like, what is going on?
How many do you have? Because I don't have a lot, if you want to share more.
I have 2 more.
Okay, you share another one, because I really only have, like, one more worth sharing.
Okay, this one's, also kind of just sad, but, so basically my job, again, it was another evening activity, but for the different age groups, sometimes they get to pick, like, their own evening activity, if that makes sense. So, for example, the, like, 15-year-old boys, like, they'll ask, can we do this activity? And then, so that's how, like, sometimes they get bubble soccer and like that. So they really, really wanted to play the, like, 15-year-old age group wanted to play the 14-year-old age group boys in a soccer game, which I was all for. Like, I love when they, like, get into soccer and, like, want to do it like outside of soccer. This day it was pouring rain all day. Like, it was just one of those days. It was pouring, and so the field was wrecked. Like, it had rained like a week, like a few days before that, like, consistently. Like, people have been playing on it, so it was just, like, wrecked. And it's under the lights at night, and
kind of dangerous if it's really slippery.
Yeah. So my thing was, like, they didn't even ask, like, if it was safe to play on. Like, didn't really ask my opinion of it. So I was like, okay, whatever. They the athletic director told, like, hey, this is, like, the field conditions are not great. Like, I think we should. And it was still raining. Like, it was still, it's not like the rain had stopped and the fields are still, like, kind of bad. Yeah. No, it was still raining. And they just, like, they just pushed it through, basically. So they're just like, yeah, this is happening. So I had to go out. And it was, like, I was on that evening activity, obviously, because I was the soccer director, so they put me on that one. And so I was like, okay. I turned on all the lights. It's, like, I'm, like, driving this golf cart. The golf cart's, like, making, like, muddy tracks, like, as I'm driving. Like, it's just, like, unideal. I turn the lights on. by myself. I get it, like, we get it set for them to play. We get into like 5 minutes of playing, and it starts to lightning, which, like, if you've ever played soccer before, like, there's rules. Like, you can't play when it lightnings.
Feels obvious, even if you haven't played soccer.
Hey, you can't play with lightning because it's dangerous. So we call it off, and I was just, like, in my head being like, I told you so. Like, we should have just called this off. They could have rescheduled, done something indoors that they actually would have enjoyed. But now, so instead of canceling it, they're like, okay, we're gonna delay it 10 minutes. Don't really even know if that's, like, the rule, but whatever. So we went down. It's delayed. It's still pouring. It's like it got even worse to that point. So at this point, I was like debating in my head, like, I was raging too, because I was like, surely they should just call this off. Like, what is the point of us just, like, waiting here? And I was also just mad because the field conditions were not. I didn't think they were very safe. Like, but again, they did. Like, it was just not up to me. So I'm, like, sitting there, and then finally I was talking with one other person I was working with that was, like, reffing, and I was like, are we really just gonna wait here until what? Like, even if the rain stops, like, the field's gonna be absolutely wrecked. Like, it makes no sense. And so then we went in and asked, and we're like, hey, we really don't think the field will be playable. And gave me some attitude, but they're like, okay, call it off. So then we called it off, and then I, like, the moment that I was, like, really just defeated was driving back up in that golf cart by myself in the pouring rain. And when I tell you, like, driving a golf cart in the rain is not a pleasant experience. It's like the rain the rain is, like, pelting you in the face. You, like,
can't even have, like, a movie moment.
No, it was just so unpleasant. And I was like, I went and just turned all the lights off for less than 10 minutes of them to play. I, like, set up the whole field, whatever, for them to play less than 10 minutes. And that night was just so mad, because I was like, I wish I would have just said, like, straight up. Something, you know, like, maybe they wouldn't have listened to me, but, like, I didn't try and, like, contest it, but in my head I knew, I was like, this is such a bad idea. And I think I was just, like, I was more angry that they didn't even, like, ask. And so, but I should have said something right off the bat, but I was just like, you know what, whatever. But it was stupid. It was really stupid.
I mean, you did voice it at least, so for that I'm proud.
I know, eventually, but I don't know what, like, I can't say too much, but it's, like, it's just one of those things where it's, like, people that don't fully understand your area making decisions about your area really grinds my gears.
I feel that in the corporate world, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna share those stories because I love my job, I need my job. But that's definitely happened before, where I said something and then someone that was working with me that was, like, a little bit senior said, well, I really think this. Okay, and then I have to go back and redo it, and it makes me mad to no end, because I'm like, I literally was listening. I know what we need to do.
I think that's a good indication of, like, if you're a good manager, it's, like, genuinely, like, being a good listener. I feel like there's a lack of that across the board, like, everywhere.
And part of that is my own fault, because I literally will write down what was asked because I don't want to forget. And then later it's like, oh, I think it needs to be this. And I'm like, I think it needs to be this. And I should just be like, I literally wrote it down. And that's kind of on me. But good for you for trying. I feel like you just got beat up literally all summer. I feel like when you go to that camp, you just literally get physically defeated. Beat up.
There are moments. Like, the thing, like, the way I explain it is, like, the highs are really high. The lows are really low. So there are some points in the summer where I'm like, wow. Like, you really gotta, like, introspectively look at yourself and be like, what do you gotta work on? Because there is some points where I'm like, I just feel like I'm getting, like, walked all over. It's
tough too, because it is, like, you stay at the camp. Like, you can never leave, so you can't really separate, like, work and home. But any type of summer camp is exhausting. Like, I mean, obviously we're gonna have an episode about helping my mom with camp.
Oh my gosh.
Those were exhausting days too. I can't imagine living with the kids. They are. Especially in a summer camp environment, because school is so structured and camp is supposed, like, they literally pay to have fun with your kids. So, and then especially when you're young, it's like kids are climbing all over you. And, like, but it's also really fun because, you know, they're sweet, and we'll have to share more Spanish camp stories. But I mean, me and you basically, like, ran a mini camp while we were, like, 15. So Story for another day. All right. My other doormat story. This is like, I don't think it's that crazy, but it has sparked discussion when I share it.
Okay.
So we'll see what you think. And yeah. So I recently went to just like Meijer on like a average like, weekend or whatever. And I was supposed to, you were going to be home for one weekend and we were going to try and do like a little like movie night. So I wanted to go out and get some special snacks for us, which was going to be really fun. So I went to Meijer and I bought like some adult beverages, some seltzers. Yeah. If you're under 21, drink responsibly. Or no, if you're don't
not what you meant to say.
Don't drink at all. Whatever. Just
we don't condone
underage drinking. These are non-alcoholic beverages. Okay. So I got us some like little seltzers. I got us some like, I got Dove chocolate because I was like, ooh, like let's have a night. And then I got us like, because I know we both like kind of like sour, chewy candy. So I got us like something like that.
Yeah.
And then I was going back to my car and I was already in the car. And then this lady approached me and was like waving me down to like open the window. And I don't know. I think it is like, I struggle so much with, there's a lot of debate over what do you do if a homeless person asks for something. And
my mom's the worst for this.
Again, there's a huge range. And like,
wait, can I like pause and say a quick story about my mom? This is actually so embarrassing because I fell for it too. But there's this girl, this lady in the Target parking lot where we are, that will play violin for money, which I feel like cool. I like to give like musician, like, like if you're doing something, like I think that's really cool. If I'm enjoying the music, it's like, I'll throw like some money. And my mom is like, she is generous to a fault. Like she is just very, very generous. So she gave this woman $20. And then when we walked out of Target, was like, I think we need to give her like this. It's just because it was really beautiful. The speaker was really loud. Yeah. We've come to find out from one of my friends, I don't know how she knew, but she said that lady, it's a recording, and she's sitting there pretending to play. And my mom gave her $40 to pretend to play the violin.
But you didn't realize it either, so she must have been good.
But I'm not like that musical.
Okay, low-key, I respect the hustle for that, girl, because that's funny.
For real. But
no, that's
I wasn't even that, like, I was like, the whatever, game's a game. But I feel like a musician, like, that new music would have been able to.
Yeah. I guess, okay, the other part of that is, like, there's, like, different levels of it, too, because some people kind of go up and, like, harass cars, which is not great. And then, if you're a musician, it is just, like, I'm performing if you want to give me money, okay? It sucks if it's a recording, though.
Yeah.
Like, definitely.
So
yeah, there's, like, a big range to it. And that's the thing, too, like, I don't know, because there is that thing of, like, there's one end of the spectrum where even if you're lying, like, I would rather take a chance and make sure that you're okay tonight. Yeah. And then there's also the other side of, like, I've literally known people that were like, oh, I literally know them. They're not homeless. Like, they are literally just, like, trying to get, which sucks. Like, why?
Yeah, no, it is.
And then there's also, so between that, then there's also, like, safety concerns. Because, if you go up in a harassing car as, like, a young woman by yourself, whatever, I know there is this one notorious guy that would cross over like 4 lanes of traffic and start like pounding on your door and yelling. And you have to literally yell at him, which is really terrifying. I would say don't do that as an approach. Or even when we went to Florida, remember that one guy that was actually selling stuff, but he was so aggressive yelling at people. Like you could hear him all the way down and he would be like swearing and, hey, get your...
Yeah, really weird sales approach. Basically, it was this guy, we were on the beach and they were selling like those drinks like in
coolers, like, just like
they almost look like juice boxes. Like it's like those kind of packaged drinks. And his approach was like to literally insult people.
Yes, he would be like, we got dead bodies out here on the beach. And it would just be like people trying to relax and enjoy it. And you could hear him like literally a mile away, like coming. And he would start harassing people like, get the up.
That was our literal nightmare. I remember like he was far away and we were like, please for the love of God, do not come over here. And he did. And he said something. I was wearing a bathing suit that had like hearts on it. And he's like, what is this, Valentine's Day? And I'm like,
I think that was a different guy, was it?
What?
I was wearing your heart thing.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah, you were wearing mine.
Early for Valentine's Day. You're like, yep.
So, not the worst comment, but I was just like, please don't approach, like, I'd rather have.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought he was gonna comment because everyone in Florida is very tan, and I was like alarmingly white. And I was like, as soon as he came up and started commenting on like what I was wearing, I was like, please. I was like, I just can't handle that right now, sir. But yeah. So there is like a spectrum to.
Yes.
I don't know. There's big discussion, and like depending on like it, like the boomers have strong opinions, like the Gen Z have strong opinions. Everyone has a strong opinion on it. I am kind of just like suss out the situation. I tend to lean a little bit more compassionate. Like if I have something extra, I'm not gonna like hand over the deed to my car or something like that. And if it's like if I feel unsafe or if I'm alone, I'm pretty much like I just try not to engage just because for safety reasons. You just never know. But it was like a woman, she was kind of older, and like, I don't know, there is just that thing of like, you know, you feel compassion when a woman comes up to you.
No, I get it. And
so then I rolled down the window, which was maybe mistake number one. And then she was asking for money. I literally didn't have any cash on me. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like I don't have any money. And she kind of just kept saying like, oh, this and that. And I said like, I have snacks though. Like I'm always fine to give food. Like if you really do need food, that's okay. I didn't have anything nutritious, obviously. I had like seltzers and like chocolate. Yeah. And she's like, what do you have? And I was like, I have chocolate or like some gummies or whatever. And she goes, you got chocolate? I said, okay, yeah. So then she said, okay, I'll take that. I said, okay. So then I got out of my car, which was also probably mistake number 2. Don't get out of the car. I realized, like, which is funny because I'm normally very paranoid, but whatever. This is just what was happening. So I got out of the car, and as I'm going to get the chocolate, she kind of starts to like insult me a little bit, like just like not really, but kind of. She was just like, "Man, you got a nice car, and like you're not even grateful for it. Like you have all this stuff, and you're not even grateful for it." Like she just was basically. And
that's when you turn around and get back in your car and shut the door.
My doormat thing is like. I don't know, dude. I just kind of I was already back there grabbing stuff. Like it's so awkward just to be like, nope, and then get back in your car. But it was just like
would make me mad. I would be like, I'm helping you out.
It was annoying though. I was frustrated because, and the other thing is like, I totally get why you would target someone like me because I just got a new car. And I'm buying like candy and stuff, and I was dressed I looked really young, like I was in like a little crop toppy sweatshirt thing because I was just planning to see you, but it definitely looked like spoiled brat with daddy's money.
That doesn't matter, like it's not give her the right to comment on your life. Like
I get why,
even if you were like,
I get why, but I was also just I kind of just wanted to be like, come on, man, like it's not how that works.
Trying to just
I'm just like, it's not how the game works. If you insult me, I'm not gonna give you stuff. And then, I don't know, I think I just got, again, I'm such a doormat. In retrospect, I was like, that was annoying. But in the moment, I just was like, I think I said I try to be grateful every day, you know, like just letting her know, like whatever. And then I said, and this is where, again, stupid. I gave her the chocolate. And then I was like, do you need a blanket? Because I had a blanket in my car. She didn't even ask. Jenna, shut up.
Amelia.
I actually can't with the judgment. I thought this was mild, but everyone that I've told this story to, they're like, you're an idiot.
What? It'd be one thing if it was a blanket. This is a blanket that you liked, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. I was going to say, if it was just like one of those blankets you kept for emergencies, sure. Okay. The fact that you offered something that you actually really enjoy.
Okay, so I have a blanket in my car that I keep in there for like, just in case, or like for like my dog, if I want to like cover the seat or something so she can be comfortable. Yeah. But it was like a small blanket. I don't know. I was trying to help this woman and I didn't have any money. And I don't really give alcohol. Like, I feel like it's not a good idea just to like, I feel like food is better to give. So I just had the chocolate. I was like, if anything she can see, like I do want, like I hope she's fine. Like a blanket I could see being useful maybe. And so I said like, do you need a blanket? She goes like, oh, is it big? Like I can't have anything big. And I said, no, it's not. And since she saw it, she's like, okay, yeah, I'll take that. So then I gave it to her. And then I got in the car and then I was just like, but that was like my favorite blanket. Like it was I literally hadn't bought it that long ago. And it was like this nice cream colored blanket. And it did fold up to about this big. And it was thin, but it was warm at the same time. And it was really nice and soft. And it just looked really cute. And it was small, but like the perfect size. And I used it like every day. And I'm sure and it was also the middle of summer. So she probably just like threw it. So like she probably did not use it. And that's when I was like, no, that's doormat Amelia. Because not only did you let her insult you. Yeah. Which like, whatever. You're having a bad day, whatever. Yeah.
The blanket thing is not that big of a deal if she hadn't have insulted you. Like, I understand, like, if there was someone that I felt like really needed help, I would 1,000% do the same thing. The fact that she insulted you.
It's that she insulted me and then she didn't even ask for the blanket.
Yeah.
I just started being like, if I had money too on me, I bet you I would have just started pulling crap. Like I would have, luckily my car was empty. But I was just like, she didn't even ask for the blanket, and she insulted me, and then I just like, that's the thing, this happened like 3 weeks ago, and it's like one of my like things that keeps me up at night, like, why did I give her the blanket? Because now I don't have, but I don't know. It's funny because
we can find you another blanket.
True, that's the other thing too, is like, I didn't need the chocolate, like, who gives a crap about the chocolate? I really didn't need it. If she went hungry, like, you know, even just to have a treat, if you've been on the street for a long time, you haven't been able to have a luxury, like a treat, like that's fine. But it's funny because in my mind, I thought that was like pretty mild, and every person I've told this story to was like your same reaction. They're like, Amelia, and I was just like,
that you and my mom sometimes just give me so much like anxiety. My mom, I'm going to expose her right now. She one time there's a guy coming out of QD that like asked her for money, and I think from what the way she tells it, which is also she's a neurotic woman, but she's like I think he was like I think he was like I don't want to speculate, but like I think he was like acted way younger for his age. Okay. So she obviously, like, my mom has a really big heart. Yeah. This woman, she gives him money, and then he's like, I just need a ride to my house. Like, I literally...
Your mom gave him a ride?
Gave him a ride.
Dude.
We had to lecture her and be like, you could be dead and, like, kidnapped. That could have went so... I don't know.
Dude, I lecture your whole household, though, because you guys, like, just leave stuff so...
Cut that out.
As soon as I say it, they don't know where you live. It's fun. As if your cars haven't already gotten broken into and Alonzo had to come take care of it.
Anyway.
I already feel that way with, like, I think your mom is maybe a different level, though, because the fact that I lecture your mom is... No, but I'm also paranoid, though. I think I'm a doormat, but I'm real paranoid. And I think your mom is a doormat and not paranoid.
Yeah, she's like small town, like think anything bad's gonna happen. Yeah,
she has a big heart. Wasn't my finest doormat moment. I don't think I had really.
Yeah, I would say that's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, take us home.
Okay. Okay. So this one is obviously like this summer, most of my job was to just coach soccer. Mm-hmm. The way it would work is they had like activity periods, which were like 45 minutes, and they would come up like different age groups and play, and then their counselors would come too, like depending on where they were assigned. So a lot of the times like I would jump in because if we needed numbers, like me and my other like coaches would jump in and play. Yeah. So one of these days, like all of they're called collegiate boys, but they're like 12 to 13. Yeah. 12 to 13-year-old boys. So like a rowdy age, but like when they get into it, it's really fun. Mm-hmm. They had enough of them so we could play like 11v11, so it was like this big scrimmage, really fun. Like the counselors jumped in. great time. Mm-hmm. There's just this pattern at this camp specifically because it attracts a lot of like international students, usually like people around like 18 to 25 like will come and from like the UK and come and work because they can get a working visa and then travel after. So it's like a really cool environment, like a lot of different people from a lot of different like backgrounds. All that to say, the people that come to the soccer field are a different breed because every UK man thinks they are the next like Mbappe. Like they literally think they are the I don't know what it is about like the UK. I get it because like they grew up with soccer, like it's a huge thing. Like, I envy that. Like, that's really cool. Their egos are huge. Oh, like, it is just next level. And it's hilarious because... Yeah. But it's not. Like, it's hilarious, but it's not. Because they'll come up and they'll, like, flex on these 8-year-old kids and, like, full, like, power drive a shot into the goal, into the kid in the face. And you're like, terrible. Why? Like, why? Yeah, no, on. It's like, they find joy and... like it boosts their egos, like flexing on like 12-year-olds. It makes no sense.
That's gross, actually.
For context, that is the type that comes up to the field consistently. So I had one of those that day who was he was like very tall and like broad.
Yeah.
And he was was that type, had a huge ego and thought he was like really good. Spoiler, not that good. But anyway, so he was up and so we were all playing. And for whatever reason too, I just attract men that just like get like very spiteful.
Hell yeah, brother.
No. Not something to choose that. Get spiteful at the fact that I can play soccer and like compete with them. Like it I don't know, it turns something on inside of them of like,
hell yeah, brother.
This shouldn't be.
Hell yeah, brother.
And so the competitiveness just like kicks in. And I get it. I'm also competitive. Like I grew up with 2 older brothers. I don't like losing. Like, and I will get into it. Yeah. So, but the difference is I'm 5'4". Most of you guys are over 6 foot, and I'm not going into tackles like I'm trying to, like end their life. Yeah. So we're playing, and all these like collegiate boys were just like having fun, having a good time. It gets like a little competitive. Like we're like, like talking smack, like fun. It's fun. I go up and I'm like running with the ball, literally dribbling with the ball. I just like can tell he's behind, like full sprint, think like, just on a mission. Yeah. And obviously he's way bigger than me, just like shoulder drives into me. And so I flew. Like, dude. I tumble. And this is where the doormat in me. I should have like said like, yo, chill out. Like it's not that deep. What are you doing? Yeah. But I don't know. I got like, one, it's like in front of kids, so I didn't want to like tell him off and like embarrass him in front of him. So I just like ignored it. I was just like, okay. And I kind of like laughed it off. Because again, I can take, like, I'm tough. Like I'm used to like competing with my brothers and like it getting, Yeah.
I mean, you played collegiate soccer. I'm sure you've gotten tackled a few times.
Not, it wasn't that. It was more like the principle, and I'll explain why. Like the first time it was like whatever. Like it's not a big deal. But my other friend was also playing, and that'll come into the story later. But so then we're playing again, and this happens not once, not twice.
Are you serious? 3 to you specifically?
Yes, to just me.
That's
the
so
only
gross.
Person that he was targeting was me.
That's really embarrassing.
We had one of those like I don't know, like friendly relationships to where like I think he thought it was like haha funny, like pick on you kind of thing. But I was getting annoyed because I was like, one, this is I was literally tumbling onto the ground. And 2, I was like, just because you can't beat me with like actual skill, he was just basically going for like trying to like push me off the ball. In any kind. I'm like, okay, whatever. And one thing, I don't respect that because it's like that's not actual skill. Like you're just bigger and taller and faster than the average person. That gets you like a lot of advantages in this game. Good for you, but also like you have no actual also, ball skill.
Are the kids watching this?
Yes.
So it's like they just watched a public beating, basically. Like,
well, it was funny. The kids were like making the kids, even his like these are his like boys were being like. That scares me. They were being like, dude, like.
Oh, the kids were like realizing how weird.
No,
that
yeah,
was.
they were like,
good,
yo, like, because I mean, I have a good relationship with like all the kids, so they were like kind of defending me, and then they were like, El Riz, dude, El Riz. I was like, honestly, facts. But then, the 3rd time that it happened, it was bad. And I was, again, I'm like not one to like roll on the ground and like cry about it. So I just like got up. But my friend, who's like really sweet and he's like taller and like he like got in his face and was like, this is like, we're at camp. Like this is a camp game. Like you need to chill. And it made me feel good because I was like, thanks for sticking up for me. But also it's embarrassing because I was like, that probably should have been me the first time, the second time, the third. I was like,
dude, what if you got like just cussed? Like,
I don't know. And so that made me like really think like
that's kind of doormatish, but that's an extreme. Like, I feel like that's a lot. You're doing a lot, sir.
Yeah, but also it was like I don't know. I thought about it and I was like, it was like my program to run. I should have just like told him off, like, hey, like either you need to just play normally. Yeah. Because like the thing is, if I was thinking about it, like if he would have done that to any other person, I would have kicked him off the first time, or like at least the second time, like give him a warning and then be like, okay, you're done. But because it was me, I don't know what it is about like situations and like turning them on myself. Like I let so much slide because I'm just like, like it is what it is. And I'm like, I
mean, it's definitely doormat-ish, but I still think that's a little crazy on his part.
Okay.
So did we grow?
That's a great question.
And let's just like take out of it all the other stuff that we've talked about off camera from our lives.
Yeah.
And we'll just, let you guys know that we didn't grow in those areas either. Did we grow as doormats? I'm going to say based off the things that I said, no, but I know in certain ways I have. I would say maybe 20% growth.
For you or me?
For you. Mine is like 0.
I would say even more. I didn't tell you the stories where I like stood up for myself.
Yeah, I'm talking about based off of what we shared.
Oh, based off of what we said. Okay.
I would say overall, I'd say I got a good 30-40 chunk going in there.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Actually, yeah, like 30. 30's generous.
I think we will grow more now that we're together because I think we keep each other accountable. But I feel like we can give ourselves grace for the summer because we were, But I will say the position I was in taught me a lot about having to stand up for myself and manage, because it was like a manager position.
That's what it is. I think a lot of our experiences in retrospect, it's like, okay, I think we're learning a lot. Yeah. But then when you get it put into practice, it's like the first time you've tried something and you just read the instruction manual, it might not go smoothly. But now that you kind of know what the scenario is, I think we'll be better. Yeah. Here's hoping, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. There's room. All right. Well, we're glad you guys joined us for another episode, and we're going to be coming back, and we have lots of fun things coming up. So keep tuning in. Keep sending us letters, questions,
we have some fan mail to read next time. And some other fun stories. I have other stories that people have submitted, so those will be fun to read.
Yes. So send us your doormat stories.
Tune in next Tuesday.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Bye.